Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on live stream music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on Australian blues rock legend Billy Thorpe. And through his life, we looked at the many times he reinvented himself and what you need to do just to be a compelling character in this world. So I trust you found that one encouraging. We're going on to a guy that was born in Waurika, Oklahoma in 1957. He was the son of an Assemblies of God pastor, and this well and truly has informed his life ever since. The guy we're talking about is Gary Chapman. Gary Chapman, the musician. He sort of started out a few high school and college bands, but he thought, I need to move to where the action was, and at that point it was Nashville, Tennessee. So he moved there, writing a song for iconic Christian artist Amy Grant. Now, Amy Grant was getting absolutely massive at this point, and so he wrote the song Father's Eyes for her, and that went on a Grammy-nominated album, particularly for that song. So Gary Chapman well and truly was establishing himself as a songwriter. In 1981, he got the Dove Songwriter of the Year. That's pretty amazing. In 1982, he actually married Amy Grant. Now, Amy Grant there was nothing bigger than her in the Christian music industry at that point. She was absolutely massive. In fact, not just Christian music, but music in general. Age to Age was a huge album for Amy Grant, and pretty well every Christian household had that album in its house. And so to marry Amy Grant was a pretty huge deal. And they enjoyed some married life for a while. In the 1980s, 90, I think it's a very classic case of when you're married to someone as big as Amy Grant, very difficult to have a career of your own. But he did manage to write some songs, record some songs, and produce some songs. And it was in 1996 he actually got another award for Male Vocalist of the Year, which is pretty amazing. In 1996 to 1999, he was actually the host of an evening television talk show in Tennessee, Primetime Country, and that lasted for around 3 years. But it was in that late 1999 period that, much to the shock of the world, the Christian music world in particular, Amy Grant and Gary Chapman announced their divorce, and that kind of rocked quite a bit, really, because a significant marriage and a relationship like this one expected to go forever. It just goes to show that we are all human, and when it comes to actually in our houses and what we're doing, we're just normal as everybody else. But it's good to know that both Amy Grant and Gary Chapman have remarried and moved on with their lives and kind of continue to have a bit of a career. In fact, Gary Chapman's had a pretty amazing career. Between 1981 and 2013, there's been 12 studio albums, which is pretty cool, including 2 singles in that. Now, I've got a few clips on Gary Chapman below. Now, I was very privileged to see Gary Chapman, Amy Grant and Michael W. Smith come out and do a concert. I think it was called One Moment in Time from memory. Pretty amazing concert, that one. And I got to hear Gary Chapman sing this song that I'm going to talk about now. The song Treasure was all the back in 1984. The song was apparently inspired by a near-death farming accident when Gary was the age of 18. When you have a near-death experience, it kind of gets you to realise a few things about what is important. Now, it talks about, where the treasure of our heart is where our life will be. Often, you can tell where your treasure is because you'll spend money on it. Now, I've got to spend money on that next thing because it's just part of who I am. As we know, money is kind of one of these things that is at the very centre of who we are. It kind of just follows us around. And what we spend our money on is often what we see as important. If we actually spend money on a college degree, well, that's a pretty life-changing thing happening right there. And it shows that we're kind of giving our future a thought. Often, sometimes we might spend money on things we just for now, or for the next thing. But, money's one of those really important things. But what Gary Chapman would argue is that there's more to life than money. That what are the things that we really value outside of money? What human relationships do we value? What life events do we value? What do we what do we spend our time doing? What do we value in our working life? Do we actually enjoy going to work? And do we find treasures in every day that we live? And I think this is what he's really trying to say. The treasures are often in the most unusual places. But if we take time to observe and to think and to look at life, we often can find those treasure moments. And as I've said before, they can often happen in the detours of life when we're thinking, hey, I'm just going to go down this road and see where it goes. Next minute, we've got this amazing view. And we treasure those moments going forward. Now, the thing I love about this song, we've got an absolutely stunning live performance coming up. It's just him and his guitar, a bit of backup vocal happening as well. The chord progressions are absolutely stunning. He's a pretty good guitarist, this guy, and as I said, to get an award for Male Vocalist of the Year is pretty amazing. This guy can sing really well. His guitar playing is absolutely superb, and his songwriting, what can we say? There's some beautiful chord progressions going on here. The minute he starts playing and picking his guitar so well, you're hooked. So we've got an iconic performance here. Introduced, you see Amy Grant very much at the beginning here, so I think it's a bit of a joint concert going on here. So treasure, just a bit of a moment in time right here, just a time to think, oh wow, yeah, this is a pretty amazing song. So very, very privileged to have a video recording of this one. We then got Finally. This was originally written for T.G. Sheppard, and this song actually went to #1 on the country music chart, so a pretty significant song, this one. This is in the Grand Ole Opry, which is one of those iconic music institutions in the US. And so to get on this show, you know you've kind of made it and are respected. Would have meant a lot to Gary Chapman to actually sing at this particular gig, so we got Finally. And then we got a bit of a static clip, unfortunately, A Man After Your Own Heart. This is a statement of faith, this one, about what he sees as important. This is from 1996 album, so it's good to actually hear him singing here. So the links to those 3 songs are in the description below. And I've also included my last video from Billy Thorpe, so if you want to recap on him, feel free. Well, if you've come back for another one, or this is your first time to Life Reflections Through Music, thank you to everyone for coming around. Really appreciating the engagement. Next time, we're going to go on to iconic guitarist Gary Moore. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.